everybody. Here we are for Breathe and Meditate, one of my favorite parts of the week. Thank you so much for being here. For me, it's midday, so happy lunchtime to those of you who are joining us from elsewhere, from different time zones. Thank you so much for being here too. And I'm just so glad to have this time to share with you, to go inward, and to talk about something that's been so beneficial and helpful for me in my life, which is breathing, first and foremost, and how to breathe, and meditation as well. Hey, Greg! Hi, I'm so glad you're here. And just thank you all for being here. I'm delighted and excited. So let's get started today by just a brief review of things that we've talked about before, but how to sit or lie down comfortably for meditation, what to do with your hands, and what might happen with your brain. So I like to sit up straight and tall. I'm in a comfortable cross-legged position. I know that's not comfortable for everybody. Some people like to sit in a chair with their knees next to each other and feet next to each other, about hip width apart. And other people like to lie down. So I would like for you to do what feels good and comfortable for you. If you're lying down, I always suggest Savasana, or corpse pose, which is a really nice resting pose. And that's lying down on your back facing the sky or the ceiling, arms out at a 45-degree angle from the body, palms facing up, just relaxing and resting the fingers, letting the feet fall out to either side, and with about 1.5 to 2 feet between the feet. So again, lying what feels comfortable for you, doing what feels good for your body. If you're sitting like I am, or if you're sitting in a chair or on the couch with your feet on the ground, then I encourage you to sit up off the back of the seat. So if there is a back behind you, scooch a couple inches forward so that you can let your spine do the work for you to hold you up straight and tall. Now, if you have issues, if you have knee issues, back issues, or anything that bothers you or that needs a little bit of extra attention, then do what you need to do to feel comfortable. If you need to sit back on a couch and that's what's gonna allow you to join us, then great, do that. But if you have the ability to sit up straight and tall on your own, then I encourage you to scoot a couple of inches forward in your chair. The idea is to have a really long, straight spine so that the head, the neck, and the spine can all be in alignment. So you'll notice that my chin is lifted, and that allows the energy to flow naturally through the body, through all of the meridians, as my friend and business partner with Lotus Flower Corporate Wellness, Sophie, has taught me. So, hands. Very simply, you could just comfortably rest your hands on your lap or on your legs, palm down or palm up. Or if you would like to choose a mudra, which is a hand shape that feels good for you, you can do something that feels good for you. And there are a number of them. So if I encourage you to use one that you like, or if you don't know too much about mudras, the few that I think are kind of like get at some of the main things that people like to do when they meditate with me are making the OK symbol, placing that on your knees or in your lap. And that's really good for grounding. If you want to ground yourself down into the earth or into reality, that's a really good one. If you would like to connect upward, connect with your higher self or your spirituality or God, then you can touch the second finger with the thumb and drop the hands face up on the knees or in the lap. Or if you just want to go inward and focus on yourself, you can place one palm on top of the else you'd like to do with your hands, go for it. In terms of what to think about for meditation, the reason that you might have heard of people meditating on a flame or a piece of fruit or a crystal or an altar is because the mind naturally wanders away. It naturally has competing thoughts for our attention. And so for those of us who struggle with meditation, and I include myself in there, it's nice to have something to bring the thoughts back to. So when they begin to wander, we can focus back on that flame in front of us potentially. If it's an object, sometimes it's a word. It might be the word love, or it might be the word presence, or it could be any word that is an important thing to you, something that you value, that you want to focus on today. And it's raining a little bit. I don't think it's going to last. The sun's also out, so we'll see what happens here. The other anchor that I encourage people to focus on is their own breath, because the breath is something that we carry with us everywhere that we go, and we're able to use it as a point to consider or a point to think about. No matter where we are, we can always bring our thoughts back to the breath. And so I cue for the breath, but if you're focusing on a mantra or a word, a phrase, or an object, an altar or something like that, then you can go ahead and bring your thoughts back to your own anchor when I cue for the breath. Eyes. So eyes certainly could be open. You could definitely watch this video if you'd like. Look at the beautiful scenery behind me, the flowing water, and maybe you'll see a goose walk by. Or you can close your eyes entirely. I tend to close my eyes all the way, and that helps me focus inward. So as you watch, you'll notice I close my eyes a lot. The other thing that you might do with your eyes, which is a traditional way to hold the eyes in meditation, is to mostly close the eyes and just leave a tiny slit open at the bottom. And what this does is it allows you to go inward and focus inward without falling asleep or going too far. So if you have a tendency to maybe get lost in meditation, or if you have a tendency to snooze a little bit, maybe leaving the eyes cracked is something that might work for you. Okay, so that is the setup. I want you to feel comfortable with how you feel, and know that however you are, if you're sitting or lying down, that if you're listening and you're here with me, then you're doing a great job. So the other thing that I want to mention is what might happen with your thoughts. So I talked about how we like to pull our thoughts back with that anchor, with the breath or an object, a mantra, phrase, something like that. The reason that we do that is because that's what meditation is all about. Meditation is about knowing that our thoughts are going to be pulled away. It's about knowing that we're not perfect, and that even though we've designated 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour to sit for meditation, our thoughts are going to be competing with our awareness, and they're going to be trying to make way in our head and pull our attention elsewhere. So especially if you're an overthinker like me, or if you have an overactive imagination, or you worry a lot, it's really easy for something else to come and take your attention. So what we do, and I'll cue for this during the meditation, is that we notice the thought, we acknowledge the thought, and then we allow it to drift out of our consciousness. We allow it to float by as if on a current, down a river, or on a cloud, just floating by. And we'll attend to that thought later. But right now, we're bringing our focus back to the breath or back to our anchor. And that's what meditation is. It's exercising that thought muscle, gaining control of our thoughts, bringing our thoughts back to where we want them. And this is a beautiful practice to do when we are not struggling, so that when we are struggling, we already have this tool in place to help us out. And that's one of the reasons that I love breathing and meditation, because it helps me kind of get it together when things are not going well, because I practice it regularly when things are going well, and that way it easily comes to mind as one of my tools when I start to struggle. So I invite you to do the same. I'm hoping you're feeling good today. If you're not feeling good, I'm glad you're here anyway, and maybe this will help a little bit. So let's sit up straight and tall. We'll begin to relax the body from the head all the way down to the toes. Bring your hands into a position that feels comfortable for you. And if you'd like, you can close your eyes. And we'll start by just taking a few deep breaths in and out and noticing how we feel. Bring your attention to your mind, taking into account how you feel right now. Bring your attention to your chest and your heart. How do we feel? Bring your attention to your stomach. Take into account, how do you feel? And then scan the body from the head all the way down to the toes, stopping along the way, noticing each part of the body and taking into account just how you feel right now as we begin, before we start. And I encourage you to bring your focus and attention to your breath, to the gentle rise and fall of the chest, the inhales and the exhales. Notice any sensations in the body caused by the breath. Maybe you're beginning to feel more awake, or maybe you're beginning to feel more relaxed. Just having these few moments together. And now we'll take a few deep breaths together, doing some breathing exercises. Inhaling, let's fill up the lungs from the bottom to the middle, all the way to the top. And exhale from the top to the middle, all the way to the bottom of the lungs. Inhale, fill up the lungs, starting at the bottom, coming to the middle, and filling all the way up. And exhale from the top of the lungs to the middle of the lungs, all the way to the bottom of the lungs. Another deep breath like this, inhaling, filling the lungs up from the bottom to the middle, all the way to the top. And exhale with me from the top of the lungs to the middle of the lungs, all the way to the bottom of the lungs. We want to be sure that as we are taking these long, deep, slow inhales and exhales, that we're relaxing the diaphragm, When we relax the diaphragm and take big inhales into the chest, and the stomach is relaxed and gently expands with each breath in, this is an indicator to the body to relax from that fight, flight, or freeze response, and to calm down, that we are okay in this moment because we have the ability to quiet the body, to quiet the mind, and relax with those big, deep breaths. With your next inhale, fill the lungs all the way up to the top. Fully expand the lungs. Take in as much air as you possibly can. And at the top of the breath, when you can't take in any more air, hold it here just for a moment. And exhale. Squeeze the abdomen, squeeze out every last breath. Hold it here. And inhale. Completely fill the lungs, relax the body. Maybe you notice a lightness in the hands or a brightness behind the eyes. Fill the lungs all the way up. Hold it here. And exhale. Squeeze the abdomen, squeeze out every last breath. Hold it here just for a moment. And inhale. Fill the lungs all the way up. Completely expand the lungs. When you've come to the top of the breath, take in just a little bit more breath. And hold it here. And exhale. Squeeze the abdomen. Squeeze out every last breath. Hold it here. And inhale. Fill the lungs all the way up to the top. Again, maybe you're noticing that brightness behind the eyes, that lightness in the chest, in the hands, and the feet. And exhale. Relax the body. Continue to sit up or lie straight and tall with the head, neck, and spine in a straight line. And as we inhale and as we exhale, I invite you to bring your attention to your heart. And I want you to imagine an orb of golden light surrounding your heart, that beautiful light energy, bringing good energy to this vital organ, the organ that symbolizes love in our lives and in our bodies. And with each inhale, we notice that that bright orb of light grows and expands and encompasses our chest, our arms, and our torsos as we inhale and exhale. And as we continue to breathe, we notice that love spreading along with our inhales and exhales, along with that golden light, that orb, that sphere of golden light that's now encompassing our entire body and carrying the love from our hearts to every corner of ourselves. And as we breathe, as we inhale and exhale, we notice that sphere of golden light growing larger, encompassing the space we're in, the room we're in, beginning to encompass the people that are nearby. Maybe they're people in our house or in our apartment building. Maybe they're the neighbors next door or across the street. We're noticing with each breath our orb of golden light growing larger, creating a space for our love to continue to expand. And as we inhale and as we exhale, we notice the sphere of golden light growing larger, expanding and encompassing the entire street, the neighborhood, our community, all of the places that are important to us, and all of the people nearby. We continue to breathe, to inhale and to exhale. And as we do, we notice our love growing, filling the space within that golden circle of light that's expanding, now covering our entire city, the place that we call home. We'll continue to inhale and exhale. We notice that loving light spreading out across the state and across the accompanying states, the rivers, the mountains, the plains, the trees, the oceans. And as we inhale and exhale, we notice our love continuing to grow, to fill that space as a golden light expands and covers the earth. We realize how connected we are to our neighbors and our friends all across the world. We remember that as we are adjusting, as we are potentially suffering, as we are trying to do our best and manage the difficult feelings that are arising during this time in humanity, during this time across the world, that our neighbors and our friends everywhere are experiencing the same emotions, the same loneliness, maybe the same joys in the little things. And as our love expands across the world, it touches our neighbors and friends, places that we visited and places that we'd love to go, we realize that we're the center of this love. That it starts with us. invite you to take a few deep breaths, noticing the images that come to mind. Maybe there's a movie playing in your head of somebody that you wish you could spend time with in person, or a location that you've been to that you love, of a friend or a family member who's far away. And I want you to know that your love is touching that person, that place, that emotion, that feeling. Your love is already there. And as we breathe, I invite you to bring your thoughts back to yourself, back to your body, back to your heart. And make sure that as you're sharing that loving kindness all around the world, you're also sharing it with your own heart, with your own mind, and with yourself. I invite you to bring your focus and attention back to the breath. To inhale and to exhale. To know that if there are any thoughts competing for your attention, we're acknowledging them, we're noticing them. We're allowing them to drift, to float out of the mind. We'll attend to them later, but for now, we're focusing on the breath. Gently bring your awareness back into your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes if you need to move or stretch. Open your eyes. Welcome back. I hope you had an enjoyable moment meditating with me today. And I invite you to join me in a little bit of a stretch. It's something that I like to do at the end of yoga classes. If you don't prefer to stretch, just think along with me. We'll inhale, stretch the arms up, and exhale, down. Relax the body. Inhale, stretch up, and exhale, down, relaxing. One more inhale, stretching up, gathering up all of the positive energy that we have created during our time together, bringing the palms together. As we exhale, we'll bring the palms over the foreheads. May we think positive thoughts. We'll bring the palms in front of the lips. May we speak kind words. And we'll bring the palms in front of our hearts. May we spread love and joy wherever we go. Thank you, my friends, so much for joining me today. I hope that this was useful for you. I hope you feel better now than you did before. And take a few moments now to notice your body, notice your mind, your heart, your stomach, and your body from head to toe. And just ask yourself, how do I feel? Compare it to how you felt at the beginning of our meditation practice today. Thanks again for being here. If you are able to support my small business and have been, then I thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so, so much.
And for those that would like to, you can do so at paypal.me/blissevolution or cash.app/blissevolution. I'll be posting all of these classes on YouTube, so you can find them later if you enjoyed a particular guided meditation. They're on my YouTube page, that's under Bliss Evolution, and you can come back to these as often as you like. Sending you love from Florida. And oh, I'm so glad, Greg, you needed this. I needed this too. It's so wonderful for me. And Greg, you're one of the inspirations for this meditation class and the types of things I talk about. So I'm so grateful for you and for being here. And to all of my friends and fans joining me, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.